The universe wants to tell you something important. It's not a warning, nor an urgent call. It's something more personal, almost like a whisper that can only be heard when everything inside quiets down. At this moment, as you breathe, there is a force around you that carefully watches your feelings, your doubts, and especially the connection that insists on staying alive within you. The universe doesn't want you to ignore this. It wants you to listen with an open heart, because what is about to be revealed touches directly the root of something that still beats. There is someone who, even in silence, thinks a lot about you. It's as if every attempt to move away only strengthens how much this connection has weight, presence, and history. This person spends a lot of time reflecting on what they would like to say but ends up keeping everything inside, not for lack of desire. In fact, if they allowed their heart to speak without filters, the first thing they would say is, "I miss you." The absence of your presence is felt as if something essential is missing. There is a certain comfort in the way you see the world, a lightness, sincerity, and calm that leaves a longing. Perhaps the greatest longing isn't exactly for the moments shared, but rather for the way this person felt when they were with you, safe, understood, welcomed. You offered a space where they could be without the weight of judgment. And now they realize how rare that was. Even if something changed between you, a distance, a misunderstanding, or a difficult choice, this person feels the need to find a way to reconnect. Maybe they have already written messages and deleted them, or rehearsed conversations in their mind, worried about every word, tone, and impact. Everything seems too big, too important to be rushed. And because of that, they delay. This hesitation comes from fear of saying too much, fear of saying the wrong thing, fear of losing you completely. There is a very intense emotional charge around this communication that has not happened yet, so every move is thought over 1,000 times. Anxiety grows, doubt increases, but still, the desire to get closer remains strong. You, on the other hand, may already sense all of this. Maybe you are waiting for this contact with a tight heart, feeling that something is out of place. The feeling that something needs to be said, resolved, or simply expressed aloud. But even with this waiting, there is patience inside you, because somehow you are preparing yourself. This preparation involves stirring old feelings, touching insecurities never spoken aloud. There is something deeply human in this process, a desire to feel loved, valued, chosen. And that is exactly what is at stake. This person isn't just thinking about what to say, but also about why they chose you and what they saw in you. They wonder if they deserve all of this, if they are worthy of the connection they feel toward you. These questions, silent though they may be, carry weight. You have a rare sensitivity, and perhaps that's why you can look at this person without judgment. You might realize that this distance isn't personal, but rather a defense, a way to cope with deep emotions they still don't know how to express. There are internal beliefs that still limit their freedom to love lightly, yet they want to know why you chose them and why you stay. While they try to find these answers in themselves, you remain present. Maybe not physically, or not through daily messages, but present in energy, in thought, in the constant memory that what you have or had still vibrates. The universe wants you to know this is not an illusion. This connection is alive and asking to be heard. As time passes, this person begins to realize that silence no longer offers the shelter it once did. What once seemed like caution now sounds like distance. The absence of words turns into a burden, and the heart, pressured by everything that's been trapped, starts to demand release. It can't hold back anymore. They know that saying what they feel could change everything, and maybe that's what scares them, the impact of revealing what's inside, of showing themselves so vulnerably. There is an unrest growing every day, how to find the right words. When will be the right time? The universe watches this inner process closely because it knows there is something real there, a true need to open up, to try again, but this time with courage. At the same time, there is an internal struggle. Despite your deep understanding, this person fears they won't be enough. Perhaps you have no idea, but they replay moments with you in their mind, looking for signs, trying to understand if your love is still the same, and above all, trying to figure out how they themselves feel now after everything that has happened. There are days when they feel stronger, and in those moments, they even believe they could write to you or maybe show up unexpectedly. But doubt quickly follows. What if you have changed? What if you don't want to hear from them anymore? Insecurity is a big obstacle, especially for someone who always tried to keep control. Expressing real feelings is disarming completely, and for this person, that demands a level of trust that isn't always there. Still, something is changing. The universe has been creating situations, reflections, and signs that gently push them toward this reconnection. Maybe it's dreams, memories that appear out of nowhere, or a song that plays and brings everything to the surface, small things that together form a silent nudge. The universe is saying that this feeling can no longer be ignored. Meanwhile, you feel this movement, as if something stirs in the space between you two. Even without words, there is a kind of emotional tuning. When they think of you, somehow you feel it too. When they get emotional, it's as if your heart tightens as well. And no, this is not a coincidence, it is a connection. This person is beginning to understand that there is no longer any way to run. And perhaps that is where the magic begins. It is when fear meets courage, when the desire to tell the truth overcomes resistance. And that truth, although simple, is immense. I need you. Yes, this person needs to hear your voice, to know what you feel, to understand if there is still a path between you. Because even while trying to move on, a part of them keeps coming back to you. They wonder if you feel the same, if you too have written messages in silence and then deleted them. They wonder if at any point you thought about knocking on their door or sending that song that once meant something to both of you. They want to know if there is still space to start over, even if everything has changed. And deep down, they hope the answer is yes. This phase is intense. It may seem confusing, contradictory, and full of uncertainty, but it is also a clear sign that the love has not ended. It was just on hold, needing time to grow and mature. And now, it is asking to be lived truthfully. Your part in this story is important, because when this person comes to you, and they will, every word you say will have immense weight. The universe knows this, which is why it is also preparing you to listen without rushing, to receive without judgment, and to welcome with an open heart. The universe is creating the scene for something that needs to happen, a reunion of souls, even if it isn't immediate or visible. While you feel the energy of this person getting closer, they are diving into a silent process of rediscovery. Something inside them is opening up for the first time, a part that perhaps even they did not know so well and which is now beginning to emerge. They are going through moments of extreme sensitivity. There are days when the world seems louder, and all they wish for is to return to that space where they felt safe. Your presence, or even the memory of it, works as an emotional shelter. It is there that they feel accepted, seen completely, without needing to prove anything. But this feeling of comfort also awakens something challenging, the fear of not being able to maintain this connection, of failing themselves or you. The truth is, they have been facing many emotions at once. And what is most surprising is that even in the midst of this turmoil, it is your image that brings them calm. This is no small thing. The universe knows that not all connections have this power to touch so deeply. They realize this now. They realize that this bond is not like the others, it is not fleeting, it is not superficial, and above all, it is not easy to forget. You may have wondered at some point if what you shared truly meant something to them. The answer is yes, it did, and it still does. The intensity of this connection is frightening precisely because it is real, and they feel it even more strongly now that they are in touch with parts of themselves they used to ignore. It is as if they are rediscovering what they feel for you in a new light, more honest, more raw, more intense. There is something they have not yet said, something they may not even be able to put into words, but which is growing inside them, the need to be understood, to be validated, not for who they pretend to be, but for who they really are. And you, of all people, are the one who had the most access to this true version. This attracts them, but it also exposes them. They want to know if you still see in them what once made you choose to stay. They want to understand if your view of them has changed with time, with silence, with the choices made. And more than anything, they want to discover if, despite everything, there is still a place for the two of you. They are not looking for promises, just a sign that they are not alone in this feeling. This search for clarity makes them reflect a lot on the past. They review dialogues, remember expressions on your face, and try to reconstruct everything that was said and what was left unsaid. A part of them regrets not having expressed what they felt more clearly. Maybe they protected themselves too much, maybe they said too little, or maybe they let pride override affection. But now, all of this returns as a lesson, and with it, the desire to do things differently. You, in turn, feel that something is about to happen. You may not know how to explain it, but you notice the signs, this intense emotional vibration, these thoughts that come out of nowhere. This feeling that there is something unfinished between you. The universe confirms that there is. And it is no accident that their paths keep leading back to you. Even unintentionally, even without planning, this connection reappears in the moments when they need truth the most. They are getting closer not just to you, but to themselves. They are slowly dismantling the armor they wore for so long. And in this process, they are beginning to understand that vulnerability is not weakness, it is courage. The courage to show who you are, to say, I feel this, without apologizing for it. And that is perhaps the biggest step they have taken so far. There comes a moment when silence stops protecting and starts to hurt. This person is at that moment now. For a long time, they believed it was safer to be quiet, that swallowing emotions was a way to keep everything under control. But now, the universe is showing them clearly that one cannot evolve without facing what one feels. They are beginning to recognize their own blocks, old fears, internal voices that repeat that they are not enough, memories of rejection. All of this is coming to the surface, not as a punishment, but as an invitation to heal. And you, even though you are not physically present, are an essential part of this journey. Your energy works as both a mirror and a driving force. Because when they think of you, they see who they want to become, someone who feels, who expresses themselves, who does not run from their own truth. This identification is powerful. They understand, with an almost painful clarity, that they often sabotage what they wanted most out of a fear of not knowing how to sustain it, that on the inside they always wanted to be welcomed, but on the outside they projected independence, that they desired intimacy, but hid behind subtle distances. Now the universe is revealing these contradictions so that she can finally overcome them. This transformation is not easy. There are days when she feels fragile, disoriented, unsure of her direction. But there are also moments of clarity, as if a veil is lifted and she can see who she truly is and who she can become if she allows herself. The desire to reconnect with you no longer comes from the fear of losing you, but from the urge to share this new version of herself. Perhaps this is why she begins to accept that, for anything to change between you, something first must change within her. And this is happening. She is becoming more sensitive, more aware, more open. She is learning to express what she feels without apologizing for it. She is understanding that to love is a risk, but also one of the few paths that truly matter. She thinks about reaching out, not with the anxiety of someone who needs approval, but with the sincerity of someone who wants to be truthful. The universe is setting the stage for this to happen at the right time. Not by chance, but because lessons are being absorbed, healing is happening, and feelings are maturing. It's as if everything is quietly coming together to allow for a new beginning. And you may be feeling all of this even without knowing exactly what is about to happen. There is a part of you that stays open, that deep down feels sure. This connection doesn't end with time or distance, it only transforms. And now, this transformation is about to become something concrete. What is most intriguing is that, even in the midst of her internal confusion, she knows you are someone rare, someone who had the patience to see beyond appearances, someone who knew how to hear the silences and understand the gestures. She realizes that with you, there was no need to pretend or hide her own shadows. For someone who has spent a life building defenses, this is liberating. The universe is guiding every step of this journey precisely. Nothing is out of place, not even past mistakes. Everything is being used as a bridge to a new path. And on this path, there is room for honest encounters, conversations that heal, and embraces more meaningful than any words. But above all, there is space for two hearts, even if wounded, that still choose to meet again. There comes a point where waiting is no longer about time, but about readiness. Everything that was felt in silence, every thought kept inside, every emotion held back, now finds its way out. And it's not an explosion, not a dramatic act, it's something deeper, a calm, steady, and transformative decision. She is ready. It is no longer about rehearsing conversations or choosing words carefully. What she carries now is truth. And truth does not have to be perfect to be powerful. The universe has led her here, and every doubt, every pause, every tear has played its role. You have been present even in absence, a beacon even in darkness. Now all this comes back as gratitude. She wants to come closer, not because she needs you to feel whole, but because she knows that sharing what she feels with you makes everything more real. There is a genuine wish to create something new between you, something that does not repeat past mistakes, but is rooted in the emotional honesty you are both learning to cultivate. This reunion does not need a script. It might come as a simple message, an unexpected gesture, or a look that says everything. The universe will take care of the details, as it always has, but the most important thing is already happening. You are both ready to truly meet each other, with everything you are, without masks. She wants you to know that she deeply admires you, that even during the moments when she seemed distant, there was always a part of her connected to you, that your actions left a mark, your words echoed, your presence set a reference. You touched something no one else reached, and that does not disappear with time. Your authenticity, your way of being straightforward and sensitive at the same time led her to rethink everything. In you, she saw what it is to love without pretense. It may have taken her time to recognize that in herself, but now she wants to be part of this same space of truth. She wants to learn, to grow, to be present. Perhaps you have questioned whether it was worth feeling so much for someone who kept a distance. Now the universe answers clearly, yes, it was worth it, because this time was not in vain. It built something within you that is ready to blossom, and what is to come may surprise even the most skeptical hearts. The universe wants you to trust. Even if there are still uncertainties, even if the reunion does not happen exactly as you imagine, there is something more important than the result, the transformation this connection created in both of you. This is what really matters. When two people can see each other truly, without unrealistic expectations or idealizations, they have the chance to build something authentic, solid, and deeply human. This story, for all it was and all it can still be, has not ended. It has only changed form. It is now more mature, more aware, more aligned with who you have become. And if there is a feeling that remains even after everything, it is because there is still something to be lived. So if this message speaks to your heart, listen to what the universe is trying to show you. Maybe it is the time to say what was left unsaid. Maybe it is the time to make space for something new, even if the new brings someone from the past. If this story inspired you, share it with someone who needs to hear it today. And remember, when love is true, it always finds a way.